Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank you, Ambassador Greer, for being with us today. There's a new political caucus, as you know, that has been formed in this town. It's called Republicans for Tariffs. This is the first time that we've heard them ever embrace tariffs. And I must point out that Liechtenstein doesn't stand a chance. From the economic soft landing that President Trump was handed, a low unemployment rate, 2.9% average growth GDP, and millions of jobs created during the previous 4 years, it's only taken him 79 days to inflict this permanent damage. Recession odds are getting higher by the day. We are following the largest tax and tariff hikes in decades. The average family will confront about $3,800 in new costs. Look at one's 401k, retirement savings, education plans, new home and auto sales been wiped out. The layoffs continue, and the plant closings that the chairman referenced today are continuing as well. Trillions of dollars have been lost just in the last week. The National Review and the Wall Street Journal, hardly left-wing publications, have both warned against the tariffs, and National Review saying today it's time for Congress to assert itself and end this trade war. Last night, the president said he's now coming for higher drug prices. Between the cuts they've planned to our programs at lower cost and the rising prices of these tariffs, their giveaways won't make a dent in the higher cost our colleagues have planned, apparently, for the American people. The Wall Street Journal editorial board said it best. This is the dumbest trade war in history. It's not only dumb, it's unconstitutional. It started with the Trump administration's unprecedented opposition and imposition of emergency tariffs on two of our closest allies. You and I, Mr. Ambassador, know something. We negotiated USMCA. It was a good deal. 195 Republicans voted for it. 196 Democrats voted for it. It was a real negotiation, coupled with the fact that it is to be reviewed next year. Instead, we're now imposing tariffs on two of our longtime friends and neighbors. The president has given himself delegated powers under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA. It's not a blank check for this president or any president to utilize without congressional assent. On April 2nd, he stretched it even further to self-delegate more emergency powers. Now he's defying economics and attempting to convince people that the trade deficit that we've had for the last 50 years is suddenly an unusual and extraordinary emergency. I've had the highest regard for USTRs. I've worked with all of them during my time on this committee. I know what they really think. But whether we or you think that this trade deficit is a concern or not, most serious economists say it is. It's clear that it does not meet the definition of an emergency statute. Republicans in Congress are missing in action, afraid to speak up, knowing that they've never embraced tariffs as an economic suggestion. I could never have imagined witnessing this as our Republican colleagues act as though nothing is happening. The Constitution clearly vests trade authority in Congress, and the powers that have been delegated to the President and USTR over the years remain paramount. But the constitutional arrangement has always been based on trust and adherence to the law, and we've had a lot of trust with USTR over the years. That trust is now fractured and on the verge of being permanently broken. I've heard your defense of tariffs, and I expect we'll hear more today. We don't object to all tariffs. Targeting tariffs, the threat of tariffs, it frequently can bring about an outcome that is negotiated and desirable. But to raise prices on the American family and to kill our own exports is unacceptable. Starting a trade war with every other country at the same time is bad strategy, and driving away allies that have stood with us for decades. None of us on this side of the dais understand it. The courts will often see these trumped-up emergencies for the pretext that they are, and eventually will declare many of them to be illegal. Trade policy should return to serving America's interest and being consistent with the law and, indeed, our Constitution. The people cannot afford more amateur hour undertakings. Trade policy needs to move back into the hands of Congress for real negotiation the way it was intended. We can begin by restoring some of that trust that has been so badly damaged in the last week. Mr. Ambassador, we want to work with you on these trade agreements. Closing the doors to America is not sound policy. It can be fixed, but it's going to take putting the rule of law over ego and greed. I yield back my time, Mr. Chairman.